Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine show presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Navy athletics. I am joined by Navy Triathlon Junior MC Kistler. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course, thank you.
All right, MC, you were quite the swimmer in high school, but where did the running, where did the biking come from? I saw you played some field hockey, but how did you fall in love with triathlon?
It's kind of a funny story. So I burned out of swim, you could say, my senior year. I decided I just kind of wanted to not swim 3 practices a day. Wasn't really my thing. And my swim coach in North Carolina was like, "Hey, you should really try triathlon. I know the Navy triathlon coach. I know you want to go there. Why don't I get you two in touch?" And I was like, "Okay, an opportunity. Why not? We'll see what happens." So my plebe year, I for plebe summer, I did triathlon, and then I got injured at the end of my plebe year, and I couldn't do triathlon for like the year because I had to heal. So I was kind of a little sad about that. I did some other things, doesn't matter. And then this fall or my youngster year fall, I was like, hey, I never got to actually try out for triathlon. I kind of want to round it out. I'm happy with what I'm doing now, but I would regret it if I didn't at least try out. So I tried out for club, and then my coach emailed me and told me that he wanted to have a meeting with me. I didn't know what that meant, low key. I was kind of terrified. And so then after that meeting, he told me he wanted me for varsity. And from there, it's been, I don't know, kind of a crazy, crazy ride. I wasn't really a huge runner in high school. I would like run because I had to or just do it for fun, but definitely not anything competitive. And then biking, occasionally I would go mountain bike with a friend, like maybe twice a year. I would ride my bike for my mountain bike on a trail for fun with my brother when I went back home. But the biking I kind of had to learn here. That was definitely a learning curve.
Now, when you were swimming in high school, you get out of the pool after your laps, whether it's in competition or in practice, and it's not like you're hopping right in a bike. You're getting right
Yeah.
out and running on a treadmill. What was that transition like, and how was the learning curve for you?
Yeah. So going from a swim to, I mean, I guess technically you go from like a swim to like a 200-meter sprint into the bike. It's definitely your body is not used to it the first time you do it. I remember my first race. I'll probably remember that for the rest of my life. That was a feeling that I was like, wow, this is new. But you kind of just have to like keep running, and you're like, am I gonna puke right now? Am I not gonna puke right now? And then you have to decide and be like, nope, I'm not gonna puke right now. And you keep running. So it definitely takes some practice. We do a lot of that, thank goodness, here. So you kind of get used to it. We have fun ways where we like try to simulate getting out of the water. If you're not like going straight from the water to the bike, because that's kind of hard to set up for like an after school practice. So we'll spin a bunch of times. Our assistant coach has had us do like, should be like, all right, 5 burpees, 10 spins, now run to your bike. So we try to simulate that a little bit. But it's definitely a very unique experience that you kind of have to get used to.
What's it like training under Billy, though? I mean, this is somebody who has propelled some of the best Marines who have won Ironman, who have trained for marathons. What do you like most about his coaching style?
I like the way that he makes it like almost individualized. Everyone came from different backgrounds for triathlon. Some of my teammates have been doing it since they were 9. One of my teammates is from Kenya, and her first time riding a bike was for tryouts. So I think it's really cool how having a team that's kind of like small, he's able to individualize the workouts, and we can focus on what like we individually need to do to become better triathletes. And that's something that I think not a lot of teams have because they're just so big. You can't make, an individual workout for everyone, or during a swim, focus on one person for 20 minutes getting their stroke rate up. Stuff like that. So I think that's huge that he like takes the time to notice that and to just make us better athletes in that way.
How much responsibility do maybe you yourself bear personally, given this is the third year of a varsity program for triathlon, and you're a junior. You're kind of one of the flag bearers for this program as a varsity sport.
Yeah, I think it depends. In season, I'm mainly just kind of focusing on training as captain and stuff. There's a lot of like admin things that kind of have to happen in terms of like, picking the suits or the jerseys for next year, making sure everyone has the correct uniforms or they're bringing the right stuff to the practice. Um, I try to advocate for it in like my company in Bancroft. We definitely want more people to come out. I feel like it'd be really fun to see the talent that the brigade has to offer because not a lot of people kind of knew this was a varsity sport. I mean, I didn't know it was a varsity sport coming into here. So that was something you kind of have to be told almost because triathlon's not huge yet in NCAA or NCAA.
Where are you trying to grow this year? What is the biggest goal that you have?
Personally or for the team?
Let's start personally.
Okay. Personally, I think it's like kind of an obvious, kind of a give me, but qualifying for nationals in November. Our first race is in about 8 days. So that's really exciting. We get to start that process early. And yeah, nationals this year is like an individual qualification. So it's up to you and how you do compared to the person in first. And that's kind of like how the point system breaks down for these races. Last year, it was kind of a team effort. So everyone scored enough points, and then you would do like you could be categorized as individual and make a certain heat, or if your team was good enough, your team can move you up into a heat, stuff like that. But this year, it's a lot more cutthroat, a lot more individual. And my coach says it all the time, but I think it's good that it's getting harder to qualify for these races. It kind of makes it like almost more worth it. You have to fight a little harder, work a little harder to get there.
Absolutely. So what does a typical week look like for UMC as you try and meet that goal?
Yeah. So our practice schedule, we pretty much have like a system down for it. Typically, it's like Monday morning, we'll have a swim. Monday and Wednesday at lunch, we'll do a lift with our trainer Fitz. And then Monday afternoon, we'll do like a short team meeting and then a long run. Um, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we typically bike, try to get the biking in. It's nice because this semester we have blockers, so we can start biking earlier, which means we don't have to fight for daylight, which is nice. And then Wednesdays, we try to do a swim. Sometimes in the fall last year, we would do like a swim out in the bay and then we'd run back to the yard. We haven't done that yet this semester. I think it's just because it's like the first week of school. So our goal basically is to get a swim in every day, anywhere between like 2K to 3.5K, somewhere in there. And then we'll alternate biking and running after school on those days.
Awesome. Well, now let's go back to those goals I asked you about because I'll end with the team goal. What is motivating you as captain? What do you want to see for this team overall this year?
I think a lot of it is growth. We all come from different places and different triathlon backgrounds, if any background at all. So I like seeing like the camaraderie and seeing us all come together. I've started to see it now. We have like accountability partners for morning swims because no one really wants to get up at 5:15 for a 5:30 practice. Like that just kind of sucks, but we all do it because we show up for each other. Um, Another goal I had for the girls was to like for every practice to give 100% or your 100% for the day because it makes you want to push harder when you see your teammates are also pushing themselves. So my 100% in a run may be different from, Nat's 100% in a run, and we're going to go different speeds, but we're both going to leave that practice like knowing that we gave 100%. And that's what I think counts the most.
Well, it gets going quick for you. You got East Tennessee State coming up in a couple of days. Best of
Yeah.
luck. We'll be rooting for you, and thanks so much for your time, MC.
Thank you.
You have been listening to the Navy Sports Magazine Show, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Navy athletics.